MLB trade deadline season is in full swing. Welcome back to Good Sports For You, where we are talking about good sports for you. And the Tarek Skubal trade just happened. I just made my video with all the thoughts on that, posted that, edited that, all that jazz. But I wanted to do the original video that I was going to do, which was going to be talking about all the other trades that have happened. It is late Saturday night, early Sunday morning. Sorry, Mom. And I want to talk about all the trades that have happened from July 25th. The first trade there was the Conley early trade, Curtis Mead trade, all the way until August 1st, excluding the Tarek Skubal trade, because that was a whole video by itself. So if you want to watch the full breakdown on how I feel about that, my instant reaction, please go watch that video. But before we hop into it, I don't mind to like, comment, subscribe. So to start off on July 25th, like I said, I'm starting with the Conley early Curtis Mead trade. Conley early went to the Nationals in exchange for Curtis Mead. Right away, I felt that this was a pretty decent trade for both sides. It was like a win-win and a lose-lose. Like, I know that a lot of fans from each side weren't happy, and a lot of fans were happy. I kind of view it like the Nationals got a young arm who's still very good and very talented, and he's going to be under contract for a very long time before he's a free agent. I know that the FIP doesn't love him, but I don't really care about the FIP. The peripherals don't love him, so he could definitely regress a little bit, which I think is okay, because you gave up Curtis Mead, who is also under a bunch of team control. You didn't really have a place for him in terms of the now or the future. I also feel that he was a flash in the pan, so I think that they got good value out of him for right now. This is a move that's definitely going to help the Nationals grow in the future. On the Red Sox side of things, right away I was like, okay, I get it. They have pitching. They have a lot of pitching, so you're getting rid of some pitching depth in exchange for a young, talented player who can help you in the right now. And then obviously Curtis Mead got hurt right away, which was a real bummer, But in the moment, I was pretty happy with the trade for both sides. I was like, okay, this is going to help the Red Sox move forward. It's a good bat that you can play in the infield, whether that's going to be on a day that Wilson Contreras is DHing. Maybe it's going to be on a day where you're okay, Durbin, you're going to move to short for a day or whatever it may be, or you're going to have Mead play short. I don't really know if he plays short a lot. But I was really excited with the trade. Obviously, the injury takes a lot of that out of the equation. He should be back by October from what I've seen, so fingers crossed about that, but I was excited about it. Moving on to July 29th, I'm not going over every single tiny little deal, but the next one that we got is the Angels giving up Logan O'Hoppe and Chase Silseth to the Rangers in exchange for Angel Ardonia. This was just kind of a trade. The Rangers got back pretty good reliever in Chase Silseth, who has a 2.72 ERA this season and also does have team control. And the prospect that they got, they're super excited about. He wasn't ranked in the top 30 prospects for the Rangers, but the Angels were he should have been in their top 20, so they feel pretty good about him. And Logan O'Hoppe got DFA'd right away. Bummer for him, he's fallen off from his peak. But this one, it's just kind of a whatever trade. Good for the Angels to start selling, at least a little bit. I think that needs to be the plan. Moving on to July 30th, the Orioles got Jake Rogers in exchange for minor leaguer Zane Barnhart. They gave him to the Tigers. Sure, the Orioles got a backup catcher. Does this signal that they're going to trade Adley Rutschman? I hope not. I'd be really upset with that, but just kind of another deal. It's okay, the Tigers gave up another big leaguer, which, as we know, they're kind of starting to sell this season in exchange for a minor league talent, which, it is what it is. But now we get into the ones that I'm really starting to care about a little bit more. Also on July 30th, the Twins receive AJ Minter, who's good on an expiring contract, a 2.35 ERA this season. He's a very good reliever. In exchange, they gave up two minor leaguers. They gave up Bruin Agbayani, and they gave up Billy Amick, who was one of my favorite players at the University of Tennessee. Both of those guys were in the top 30 prospects for the Twins, but only Agbayani is in the top 30 prospects for the Mets, even though Billy Amick was higher, which doesn't make any sense to me, but whatever. I hate that the Twins are buying. I genuinely hate that the Twins are buying. I have no idea why they're buying. I watched a whole game of theirs today. It was the Twins Mariners, and I was just watching this team. I was like, this team is buying? This team is not good. This team is not good at all. And sure, they may make the playoffs. Sure, they may make a wild card, but you're trading two of your top 30 prospects for an expiring contract reliever who, how much is he really going to help you on a team that it's if you're really trying to make a push, you need so much more help. I'm just like I said, I'm just looking at this Twins team and I'm like, why? And now you have Ryan Jeffers and you have Joe Ryan, who with you not trading them, you're giving up so much value. I'm just like, just go into a rebuild or a retooling of some sort of anything, because if you're like, we're going to win now with like Buxton, is that the plan? Because I love Buxton. He's so talented. He just got hurt for like the millionth time in his career. Ryan Jeffers is not in the last year of his deal. Yeah, he may get a qualifying offer or something like that. And then Joe Ryan's got a year and a half left. It's like, at what point are you like, alrighty, this is it. We're trading in the chips. We're trading what we got. Let's get some guys who maybe could help us 2 years down the line, because I know that they have some good, talented young players right now, but I'm just like, you're looking at this team and I'm like, why are you going in now? It doesn't make any sense for me. And this isn't the last trade that they make, but I'm really upset, honestly. And they gave up kind of a lot. They gave up 2 top 30 prospects in exchange for a rental, for a reliever, a good reliever. AJ Minter is a very good reliever, don't get me wrong, but he's not one of those like big time players that we thought was going to be a big move. So I feel that they gave up a little much, and I'm just upset that they're going into buy. And then the next move is July 31st, and they got Dean Kremer, who has been kind of this season. He has a 6.50 ERA. Mind you, it hasn't been in a lot of innings. He got hurt along the way. And he's a career 4.37 ERA. I like this move more for the Twins because they do have a couple of other years on the contract for Kremer. So I do like that. However, Dean Kremer's like 30, so it's like he could be tailing off. Could this be a sign of things to come? I just, like I said, I don't like that they're going in. In exchange, they gave up to the Orioles Humnardo Reyes, who's now the Orioles' top 20 prospect, and he's 20 years old in single A. So it's like whatever, but now you gave up 3 of your top 30 prospects for 2 pitchers who like aren't like gonna be breaking the bank or anything like that. I'm just like, why are the Twins going in? This is just something that really upsets me. I'm not very happy with that at all. But moving on to August 1st, this is when things really got moving. It started off with my Milwaukee Brewers. We got Bo Naylor and we got Cody Hewer in exchange for Blake Perkins and Craig Yoho. I like Blake Perkins a lot. I'm sad to see him go. The Guardians got a good one, for sure. He's a good, talented outfielder. Not the best bat, but he's speedy and he plays good defense and he does have a lot of team control left. However, he has like a 41 OPS plus this season. Craig Yoho, though, a ton of team control. Very good reliever. 3.15 ERA this season. I like him a lot. I'm sad to see him go. But the pitcher that we got back in exchange has a 4.66 ERA this season and also has a lot of team control. And I saw some things like his extension and stuff like that where I'm like, Chris Hook could definitely work with that, so it would be nice, but like this cannot be the last move that we make. And then Bo Naylor, 26-year-old catcher, 23 OPS plus this season, but has a ton of team control as well. But that's just, I'm like, this cannot be the only move that we make, but I actually kind of like it. It opens up the door to potentially move Gary Sanchez, even though I like Gary Sanchez, so I hope that he sticks around. Or we could like potentially move Jefferson Cuero down the line. Like that would be an interesting move for sure, because he's been in our system for a while. See if he has any trade value left. But basically, my point is this cannot be the last move that the Brewers make. We gave up some good pieces that I like, and also Blake Perkins. It's like he wasn't going to get a lot of run because we have a logjam of outfielders. Like Sal has been hurt, so I'll just take Sal out of the equation right now. We still have Churio, Mitchell, and Jake Bowers as an outfielder. If you have Vaughn playing first or whatever it may be, and Brandon Lockridge is coming back, and now you also have Luis Lara. So you have like 5 outfielders that can play every single day. Like Brandon Lockridge isn't an everyday guy, I'll give you that. And even Bowers like isn't going to play in the outfield every single day. But then you got Lara, Mitchell, and you got Jackson Churio. And also when Sal Frelick comes back, that's 4 everyday starters. So I'm okay with giving up Perkins. In terms of Yoho, he was one of our more consistent bullpen pieces. So I'm kind of upset with that. Now we need to go out and make a move for another bullpen piece. I would love to see Luke Weaver on the team. I would have loved AJ Minter, honestly. Moving on, the Pirates got Camilo Duval, who has 1 more year of team control. Interesting move. I know Yankees fans are basically like, thank goodness he's off the team and we got something in exchange. They got back 2 prospects. They got Omar Alfonso, who's the 27th ranked prospect now for the Yankees. He's 22 in AA. And they also got Luis Cruz, who's a absolute complete lottery ticket. He's 18 years old in rookie ball. And the Yankees also sent money. Duval was like pretty bad with the Yankees this season. He had an ERA in like the mid 4s, but At home, he was awful, and you just can't have that. He had a 7.08 ERA at home, and he is awful against lefties. He has an OPS against lefties, or lefties have an OPS against him, quite literally just under 1,000 at 999. So absolutely terrible. So totally understand why the Yankees wanted to get him off, and they got something in return. They at least got something. For the Pirates, I like the move. He has very good numbers away. He has a 186 ERA away. So it's like, if you can utilize him in the right positions, this is a good move. And also the fact that he has another year of team control, it's not necessarily a win now move. It's also like, okay, we can win next year too. So I really like the move. If the Pirates can get him back to like his all-star caliber self, I really like the move. I don't think it was an overpay, and I think that the Yankees are happy too. I think that this was a win-win move. Next up, we have the Braves getting Lane Thomas and Bailey Falter. In exchange, the Royals got Lucas Braun, who is the Braves' number 8 prospect, 24-year-old in AAA, and Carter Holton, who's a 24-year-old who's between A and rookie ball this season. Yeah, sure. I mean, the Braves got a guy who can hit against lefties. He has an 800 OPS against lefties this season, a 104 OPS plus as a whole this season. He was on an expiring contract. He was a guy that in my preview video, I was like, Lane Thomas is a guy to circle that the Royals are going to get rid of. Bailey Falter, he's in the minors right now. He had a 13.97 ERA this season in only 9.2 innings, a career 44.77 ERA, but these past few seasons, he's really struggled. So it's like, he's not really much of a piece. Lane Thomas is going to be the piece. He's going to be a good backup outfielder for you who can hit against lefties. That's the main point. The Royals got back, honestly, a good haul. I mean, the number 8 prospect in the Braves system, I think you're really happy with that. You get a guy who can easily contribute next year. If you were like, okay, this isn't our season, I get that. You could even bring him up in September if you can play the service time or whatever like that. So I think that that's a really good move for the Royals. You got off an expiring contract and you got a guy who you have all the team control and appears to be really good. He has really good numbers in AAA, so I really like the move for the Royals. For the Braves, I'm like, yeah, sure, okay, you got a decent bat, and you're keeping it away from your rivals, which I also think is important. And then the final trade that I'm going over in this video, obviously the Tarik Skubal trade was the big one that happened today, is going to be the Luis Castillo trade to the White Sox. This one kind of blew me away. I saw earlier in the day that Jeff Passan was like, yeah, the Mariners are kind of fielding offers, but I thought that was going to be more so for George Kirby and Emerson Hancock. I didn't expect it to be for Luis Castillo. I know that they were like fielding calls, but I was just like, he's been bad this season. He's owed a lot of money and all those things. And they got kind of back a haul for him, if I'm being honest. I feel that the White Sox overpaid. They gave up Sir Anthony Dominguez, who's been okay, a 4.10 ERA this season, a career 3.55 ERA, but like we know what he can be. He has another year on his deal as well. They also got Nolan Jones, who's in the minor leagues right now, but he used to be in the big leagues. He's bounced around a bunch. He had a really, really good 2023. His most recent season in the bigs was 2025 with a 68 OPS plus. But honestly, I think that the core piece of this trade was Boston Smith, the 14th ranked prospect in the White Sox organization. He's 23 years old in AA, and this guy is raking. He has an easy over 1,000 OPS this season across like 3 levels of the minors. He's flying up the system. Honestly, he's a guy that we could look back in a few years and be like, that was a really good move. And he's a catcher outfield prospect, so I absolutely love that for the Mariners. And the White Sox, I mean, you got a guy who you know what he can be. He's really struggled this season with Luis Castillo, that is, with a 5 ERA this season, 5.06, which you do not love. But he's a career 3.65 guy. When you're looking at the years, though, also he had a 3.54 ERA last season, so you still feel you got enough in the tank. He does have another year left on the deal. So it's like, okay, you also get some pitching for the next year later down the line. And also he has a vesting option in which if he pitches more than 180 innings in 2027, which I was looking at his innings and he'd be like, he'd have to put up a productive season to get to that 180. So we'll see what happens. Then that vesting option would go through, and then they would also have to have him for 2028. And also I know that the Mariners aren't giving over any money and the White Sox aren't giving any money. It's just straight up trading, you know? It's an interesting move for the White Sox. I do think that it was an overpay. I don't love having to give up a guy like Boston Smith. Like I said, I don't know anything about him as a prospect in terms of like what he really does, but just like looking at the numbers, I'm like, wow, this dude rakes. And then Sir Anthony Dominguez, I mean, we know what he can be. He's a very good quality reliever. Nolan Jones, I don't expect the Mariners to get much out of him, but I know that they've been dealing with like injuries and just like players not being good. So he could maybe get some run as like a 4th or 5th outfielder or whatever it may be. So for the Mariners, I'm not I'm not thrilled that it seems that they're going to be selling, but I mean, I've been looking at the team and yeah, it's gotten to the point. They've had a bad week, quite frankly. So I understand that they are selling. I think that they got a decent haul in return. For the White Sox, I'm kind of a similar way. I feel that it was a bit of an overpay, especially seeing what Tarek Skubal was able to command. I feel that it was a bit of an overpay. But in exchange, you got a guy that you got for this season, and if he can turn a corner, he can turn a corner. And you got a guy that you have for next season who will be in your rotation. And sometimes it's all you need to just eat up innings. But that is my total thoughts of all the trades from July 25th to August 1st. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all those things, and I'm out. Peace.